it's our responsibility, all the seniors' responsibility, to actually encourage new talent, young talent, to encourage them to write in their own mother tongues. So all the young writers who are here to take their prizes, getting recognized, getting their publications, first publications for most of them, I suppose. So I am very happy to be here. Usually I start with saying, Vedika Meeda Unna Atithulaku, Sabhasadulaku, Namaskaram. That is my Telugu greeting. Now I'll switch over to English because I know how I suffered just now when Kalgudi was speaking only in Kannada. So I asked him specifically, says a few things in English too. And I have to thank Vasudhendra because his Kannada was so easy to follow. I followed everything he said. And today actually I have to first of all congratulate as well as thank Vasudhendra for many things. First of all, I don't think I've ever seen a writer who is in his prime spending a lot of energy and money on others, on encouraging young talent, when he himself can write so much more. In the same time, with the same energy, with the same money, he can do a lot for himself, which is what most writers do back in Telugu Nadu too. So I think he sets an example for many senior writers all over the country to think of encouraging new talent so that the language lives forever. These days we are thinking that our Matrabhasha is going off. We are all into English. So that sort of a lament is there across India about all regional languages. At this point of time, it's our responsibility, all the seniors' responsibility, to actually encourage new talent, young talent, to encourage them to write in their own mother tongues. So which is extremely important for all the 24 recognized languages of India to survive as literary languages too, not just as spoken languages. So I really congratulate him, I admire him a lot for both his writings and his character, what he is doing. So I congratulate him for that, and I congratulate you all, whether you are going to win the prize, win a lesser prize, win the first prize, whatever it is, it doesn't matter at all. So you have started writing. That's enough encouragement for you so that you will go ahead in this. I wish you all a lot of success, all the writers who are assembled here. And I am thanking him for making me part of this event because, in fact, we met very recently, but still he thought it proper to invite me for this very unique function and along with what we did just now. I thought after some time the powder will come out with which I can do my mango achar. It's very important for achar actually. So I thought I could take it home and do it. So that's a very unique way of starting it too. So all in all, I'm very happy to be participating in this event. Actually, the subject that I am supposed to be speaking about is my language and my story, my stories. I mean, language is Telugu. So the stories I should be talking about is about Telugu short stories. While Telugu short story, I mean, I can't possibly talk in 10 minutes about a story which was created first in 1887 and up to 2025. So it doesn't make any sense. So I'm not going to do that. I will only say a few things. Firstly, I think that all other genres, I don't know if it is true of all Indian languages, whether it's poetry, drama, or novel, all these had ups and downs. There were a few decades which could be called golden age of novel, golden age of drama, golden age of poetry, and there were other slumps where they failed to attract anyone. These lows and highs, these were there for all genres in Telugu except short story. Short story never died. Short story was never low. From the beginning, in fact, 1910 is considered the hallmark for Telugu short story. Gurazad Apparav's Jiddubatu is generally considered the first short story, though technically it was not the first short story. Thematically, technique-wise, it was the first short story. From then till now, there has never been a slump in short story. There has never been a dearth for good short story writers. And I'm very happy to say most of the Yuvas Puraskar receivers in Telugu have been short story writers, not poets. There are a lot of poets. We do have a lot of poets, but the prize invariably goes to a short story writer. Does it mean that short story writing is very easy? Does it mean that anybody can write a short story? I think I would ask all of you to ponder over it. How come, even I can ask all the prize winners also today, why did you choose this genre? Why didn't you choose poetry to write? Poetry comes easier for many people because you read just 3 or 4 stanzas and be done with it. Short story is not that easy. You need to have an emotion, you need to have a conflict, you need to have a unity in the story, and you need to have something, if not a blast at least, it is something surprising or engaging or impactful at the end. You need so many things to write a short story, and of course a character. Though novel is much more character-based than short story, you need that incident. So all these things, don't they pose a challenge to you? How do you tackle them? Have you thought about it? Or you just wrote at random? You had an idea, you started putting it. It's easy. I mean, you can always do that. But what do you expect from your short story? Who is going to be the reader? As you know, Vasudendra thinks his mother is his reader. Everybody has an unconscious reader. Who is the reader? Whom are you actually targeting? When you are writing a particular subject, whom are you targeting? Which age? Somebody close to you? Your relatives, your friends, your family? Or nobody? Anybody? Or do you have? Some writers keep saying that I don't write for others, I write for myself, which is bullshit. I mean, I shouldn't be using that word. Everybody has an unconscious reader in mind when they're writing. They may not tell us who they are. They may not know themselves actually, many times, who they are. So you put an idea, and that idea has to impact at least a few, otherwise there's no point in writing. It should at least give them a thought, make them rethink, or make them introspect. Something should come out of that work. So for that, short story is one of the best genres, actually. In fact, I think that is the best genre, as far as I know. I've written 3 short story collections and translated 2 collections, Malgudi Days of R.K. Narayan, Gulzar's award-winning book. And I've written my own love stories too, for that matter, at this age. Okay, so short story is the genre which we go to when we want to say something impactful without so much elaboration. You don't need so much elaboration like you need in a novel or a drama. So what makes a short story tick for you? That is something I want all the younger generation of here who are doing that, why they are writing. Are they thinking about technique when they are writing? Does anybody start thinking about technique before they start writing? I'm not sure. Each person has his own take on that matter. Somebody decides which point of view he is going to take, who will be the narrator, what is the plot structure is going to be, everything is laid out barely, and then start writing. You may do that. It's not wrong. Or you may start writing and you can see that technique emerges from it. Your narration is progressing and the technique emerges from it. So whether you plan it or not, it is for the critic and the reader to understand what you have done to make this story so impactful. It's his duty, the critic's duty. For this, I'll just give one example from Telugu short story, and I'll close my speech with that. A person is traveling in a train, he is looking out. When he is looking out, he sees one gentleman standing there, about 30 years or so, a little sturdy, and there is one girl in a half saree running. She looks at him and smiles and starts running away. This fellow follows her. He goes after her and he manages to catch hold of her. They embrace and then they both fall down, and it appears to this traveler who is looking out of the window that they are making love. That is scene 1. Same scene, same traveler, sitting at the same window, looking out. Scene 2. One sturdy man is standing here and as a farmer, he is doing something. And there is one young, very slightly built person who has a uttariya. He has his uttariya. He is holding on to it and running. He sees this person and starts running away. But this fellow sees him, and then he leaves his work and starts running after him. He runs after him, catches hold of him. They both fall down. This man sits on his chest and he kills him, chokes him to death. This is scene 2. So which has actually happened? The writer stops the story here. He leaves it to the reader. What has actually happened? Was it a love scene or was it a murder? What has this youth seen? He doesn't tell us. The writer does not tell us either from the point of view of the traveler. He is supposed to be the protagonist, he is the traveler. He is telling us that he is seeing something. Both these scenes are put before us, and then the writer stops there and leaves the story. The story is called Vastavam, reality. Reality is the story. So once it is stopped, we start thinking. You also can start thinking, what is the truth? The writer, he is a Sahitya Academy Award winner, actually. He got his Academy Award recently. The story he wrote a long time back, 25 years back. So when we talk to the reader, even as a critic, if I read this, I can see that there are two realities there. Reality is seldom one. You see, there is a parallel reality. Depends upon who the onlooker is, depends upon what he wants to see. You see, seeing is perceiving are two different things. So this actually works as a metafiction also for me, this story. So I am seeing something, but I am perceiving something else. So what he is seeing could be the murder, but it's perceiving as a love making. Or opposite. What he is seeing is a love making, but perceiving it as a murder. Whichever way we see it, the writer has asked the reader to participate in this story. You see, here the story is not just written by the writer. If you want the correct end, if you want to interpret a correct end, you become the writer. You have to participate in the writing. You become the story, you become a participant, or you can become a writer and you want to give it an ending. When I asked the writer, he's a good friend of mine, when I asked him, what did he mean? He said, I didn't mean anything. I don't mean anything. I won't even tell you the ending. I mean, what the ending means, which is true and which is false. So what we see is not necessarily true. We all see, and we believe what we see. That is another theme that emerges from this story. So we all see things, and the moment we see a thing, we believe it. What we see need not be the truth. There might be many underlying things in it, behind it. That is something we don't perceive. So you see, in one short story, I could bring out 2-3 themes. Is it really a murder? It's in place. And actually, when the traveler, the first scene 1, the traveler thinks how lucky they are. See, they are not in a congested room to make love. They are in the open space with the nature. They must be very happy. That's a wonderful situation to be in. Second time, he's scared. So what did he actually see? Second time, he sees that what nonsense. Poor guy, young guy is being cold-bloodedly murdered. So I will actually leave it to you. What I am trying to say is, when you write a story, would you like to tell only the impression you had, the reality, the fact? Would you like to write a story like that? Or would you like to think of it differently? Would you like to project a theme in a different manner? Or you can also go about writing in the traditional way. There is a beginning, there is a middle, there is an end, as Aristotle said. That anybody can have. That sort of a story we all do. Should there be a beginning, a middle, and an end? Should there be a proper structure so that everybody understands what the writer is saying, what the writer's intention is? Or should the reader think for himself? Should he become a participant and then create a story by himself? See, from this story, I can create my own story. Another reader can create his own story. Everybody can create their own endings, their own beginnings. They may even change the beginning. They may even change the looker. I mean, he may not be in the train. You can do anything else with the story. So this is one type of writing in a story. I just wanted to give this example because this is written by one of our best short story writers. His name is Patanjali Shastri. Because the story is one of his stories. Most of his stories are extraordinary. They are not like any other ordinary stories. He tells every story differently. No two stories look alike. He is so so many variations are there in his stories. So as budding writers, I am addressing this only not to the scholars over here. They all know how to write a story or read a story. They are already proficient in there. Since I have new young writers here, I just want them to think how many ways there are to write a story, whether what they are writing is quite good for them. It can be good, it's wonderful to be happy with yourself, but then whether you can do more experiments and think about life has many parallel realities. Life is not just black and white. It is good and bad. We know it's not binary. There are so many things included in life. So all that can we bring out in our writings. Just ponder over it, and thank you. Thank you once again, Vasudendra, for giving me this wonderful opportunity.